Thank you, Norm, and thank you everybody for coming out this morning. I feel like I'm making a habit of coming up here and having press conferences, and I do not like that. But this one is a very special one. So very excited to have this. To introduce our new men's basketball coach, Jerod Haase. Today, Jerod is joined by his wife, Mindy, and their daughter. I don't want to talk too loud, but they've got a 2-month-old baby daughter, Gabby, that's asleep right by her. So we want to thank you for coming, Mindy. They have 2 other small children, 2 boys. Gavin is 5, and Garrett is 3. So they're up in North Carolina practicing their jump shots right now. I think it's important to briefly talk about how Jerod came to be our 5th coach at UAB. He is from California. He had an outstanding career in high school, was highly recruited, signed with the University of California, Berkeley, played there 1 year, and his backcourt mate was Jason Kidd, another pretty good player. They both started in the same backcourt. He's one of 5 children. He's a baby like myself. Every one of his brothers and sisters played intercollegiate athletics. Come from a very athletic family and a very solid family. Unfortunately, his freshman year, his father passed away, and he made the decision to leave Cal, and he was recruited by Roy Williams at the University of Kansas, and from there he played 3 seasons at Kansas, where they had an overall record of 89-13. And I know my math is not that good, but it's a little over 29 wins per year, which is pretty good. They were ranked 5th, 4th, and 1st in the media polls right before the NCAA tournament. So they had tremendous success in his 3 years there. He was a 2-time academic All-American and graduated with a business degree. He had a brief pro career, much like myself. Reality set in that he needed to get a real job. And with that, his coach and his mentor scooped him up, brought him to Kansas, and he was there 4 years under Coach Roy Williams. 2 of the 4 years they were in the Final Four. When Coach Williams left to go to North Carolina, Jerod followed him. And for 9 years, he's been an assistant coach under Coach Williams. And with the success of that program, they won 2 national championships. The rest speaks for itself. He's been with 2 of the most prominent athletic programs and basketball programs in America. I mentioned this journey only to lead into what were the qualities that separated Jerod from the rest. Number 1, he's a winner. He's won all of his life. In high school, state championship, in college, and with his being assistant at North Carolina and Kansas. Winning is in his DNA. He knows no different. That's very important to me. He's a fierce competitor. Coach Williams, in my 4 conversations with him over the last week, told me that he has never coached a young man that hated to lose more than he did. He used to cry in the locker room. He used to hate losing. So I like that. He's a very intelligent man. Academics is very important to him. He was an academic All-American at a very high level and competed at a very high level. So he has those values. He's a very hard worker. He's known as a very great recruiter because he's relentless, and he goes after people with his values and brings them into the program. And he understands the game. That's very important to me. Finally, as you will discover throughout all this, that he is a great person. He is a great person. And he will be a great coach at UAB. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcome UAB's new men's basketball coach, Jerod Haase. We'll get him, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and I think one One thing I am also is at times a little emotional with things, and so if I get to any troubled spots, I may just skip over them and come back to them later. But to begin, I want to thank Dr. Garrison and Mr. Mackin for this opportunity. It's a tremendous leap of faith, and I will do everything in my power to prove that this is the right hire at the right time. I will work tirelessly to ensure that this decision on your guys' behalf is a great one, and I thank you guys very much. I also want to thank Coach Williams. Without getting into too much detail, when I left his office yesterday, I told him I have to leave and not talk because I can't do it, and he's been great to me. So why this job, why this time, I think is an important question. And I think it's very easy. Back at Carolina, guys, I think everybody in this room understands that it's tremendous. It's a tremendous opportunity. It's the best assistant coaching job in America, working for the best coach, the best program, maybe along with Kansas, in a great place to live. The people there, the assistant coaches and the staff there are family. I mean, C.B. McGrath on the staff, I've known him longer than my wife. I introduced him to his wife, and I've probably spent more time with him than I have my own mother. And so to leave that family is not easy. But I told them in the interview, I said UAB is a job I'd walk to, and I would. It has everything I need that we can be successful. It's a tremendous opportunity. But I remember leaving the office yesterday, and I was involved with the construction of the new offices there, which are spectacular. Left the staff, left the Smith Center, crossed paths with Dean Smith. And when I left there, seeing all this tradition, the opportunity that I had there, I left there seeing Coach Smith thinking, it's my time to go. While I'll miss everything at Carolina, and I always miss things at Kansas, it's my time, and I will never look back. I will be 100% committed to UAB with obviously an appreciation for North Carolina, for Kansas, and everything back in Lake Tahoe as well. I want to be here. There's no doubt about it. I want to be here. I will give everything I have, and I think over time, I told the team this morning, I will prove that with my actions, not just my words. In St. Louis, Coach Williams is very superstitious. I tend not to be as superstitious. I just don't have the memory or the time to really do it. But before the Ohio game in St. Louis, he had the team bus stop in front of the Mississippi River, and we got out, and everybody on the team went down and spit in the Mississippi for good luck. So it worked against Ohio that first game, and later that day I was watching tape on Kansas. That was my scout, and working back in my room, and I said, you know what, I need to get back down there. And I walked, I mean, this is a true story, I walked back down, and I'm not superstitious, walked back down to the Mississippi and spit again. But that one was for this job. I figured I'm not going to leave any stone unturned. And so I spit in the Mississippi, and I'm a believer in it. And so that worked out well. This job has everything that I could hope for. This is a dream situation because I can recruit at a high level here. This is a great situation. It's a dream situation because it's a fantastic place to raise a family and be a part of the community. This is a dream situation because there's a current team right here, right now that I just met with that I'm going to commit to, and the players in that locker room have a chance to win and to win big. This is a dream situation to be able to work with the staff and the administration that's here right now. They're good people. They're knowledgeable people. They care about this university, and I'll do the same. This is a situation that's a dream situation that I'll give my whole heart to and that I'm committed to, and I want to be here. One goal I have many goals, but one goal I have is that you don't have to come up here anytime soon to have a press conference for a new basketball coach. It's very important to me. This is not, guys, this is a destination job for me. This is a destination job. This isn't something where I'm thinking, boy, if I do well for a little bit, maybe I can move on somewhere. I want to be here. This is a destination for me. Another goal I have is that I want to leave here someday, hopefully a long, long time from now, and people talk about me, and what I want them to say about me is not that Jerod Haase was a great recruiter, even though I hope that I will be a great recruiter. I don't want them to say that, man, he could win games with the X and O's and his team was well-disciplined and he had a great system in place, although I want them to say that. I don't want to be known as a guy that was really nice, even though I hope that you find out that I am. I hope that I'm not just known as a guy that tried to bring back the former players, even though I'll do that. I hope I'm not just known for the guy that won and won big. I hope I'm a guy that is known for building a program that started great and became even greater, from running a program and administering a program in the right way. I've always thought Coach Williams at North Carolina and at Kansas, the one thing I admired and respected about him, he wasn't known as just a recruiter or just a coach or just great with the community. He was known for being a great coach and running a basketball program, and that's hugely important to me. The fact that our kids are going to graduate is hugely important. The fact that we're going to do things the right way, we're going to do things in a first-class manner, and get the kids, myself, my staff, my family involved in the community, all of those things are a piece of the puzzle that we're going to do here. I just met with a team, and it's a tough meeting. I remember in college my freshman year, I transferred after some tough situations at Cal, and they've lost some people and a staff that they're close to. The meeting was great, and I had a clear message to them about the things we can do here. I want to make sure that they're on board and they understand who I am, and I think that meeting got across those things. But they're going to be held accountable in the classroom. They're going to be held accountable for doing things the right way and representing themselves, the team, the university in Birmingham in the right way as well. They're going to play hard. I talked to them a lot about the system and how we're going to do things. We're going to be pressure people. We're going to run up and down the court. We're going to have a system in which we do it. It's not going to be out of control. I told them I'd be extremely disappointed if we don't lead the league or right there in points scored every game. We're going to have a fun team to watch. It's going to be a great group of guys that play hard, but it's not just going to be helter-skelter. There's going to be a method to the madness, and they seem to be very receptive to that. I do not have a 5-year plan. I need to make sure they know that and that you know that as well. This is not about 5 years from now, I hope to make the NCAA tournament or do some damage in it. The plan starts today. This is a one-day plan where today's job is the most important job, and I'll do that, and we'll work from there. We can win right away, we can do things the right way, and we can do things the right way today. In simplest terms, I told them my goal for the team is to recreate my experience at Kansas as a student athlete. My experience there was phenomenal in all ways. And I think as a coach and through that experience, one of my jobs is to recreate that for them and make sure they leave here with the same kind of feelings that I left Kansas a long time ago now. But I think that's important. My message to the community of UAB and the community of Birmingham is pretty simple as well. I want to be involved. My door will be open. I want to be involved with the press, involved in the community. My wife, my 3 kids, we will be around. You will see us. We will be there. We will be accessible, and we will be heavily involved in this community, both the university and the city of Birmingham. This will be a fun style of basketball. I told Mr. Mackin that someday, I hope not too far down the line, that he's going to have a neighbor or somebody important to him, and I will as well, and they're going to come ask for a ticket to a game. And we're going to say, no, you're too late. It's sold out. Carolina played here 2 years ago, and it was a fantastic environment. That's all I know here. That's all I've seen here. It's been done once. It can be done again, and it will be done again. And this will be a team to do it. I want to thank my wife and my family. I asked her on the plane yesterday, or she asked me, are you going to mention me? And I said, maybe. And I said, if I do, what do you want me to say? And she said, well, tell them I'm the best wife you've ever had. So she is the best and only wife I've ever had, and she's a terrific, terrific mother, and she's a great basketball coach's wife. She understands the demands of this job. Nobody's going to have higher expectations than me. Nobody. I'll be fully committed to the team, to the university, and to the city. I'll give everything I have. I'll hire great staff. I will work tirelessly. I'll learn from the legacy of Coach Bartow and follow the path that he created and try and implement some of the things that he did. And at the end of the day, guys, I'm humbled and very honored to be your head coach. Thanks. Could you hand me that? Thank you.
We'll go ahead and take some questions. If you'll raise your hand, just to make sure Coach sees you. Start with some of the questions.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about your where you pattern your offense like in North Carolina, they play explosive offense, and defensively, how do you look at the defensive game plan?
Yeah. One of the exciting things when I started looking at personnel is the personnel that's here now, and obviously the personnel that I can recruit, fits what I want to do. Offensively, we're going to run. A lot of teams will run on steals. Some teams will run after a missed shot. We'll be a team that runs on steals after misses and after makes. I told the team today it'll be fun in film sessions that we say they scored. I don't want them to score, but if they do score, that we go down the court, we inbound the ball quickly, pass it, pitch it ahead to a big guy and lay it up 3 to 4 seconds after they score. And I want to push the ball. There is going to be a method to what we do. There's going to be a primary break that we're going to try and create 3-on-2, 2-on-1 situations, hopefully from our defense. If that doesn't work, we'll go into a secondary break, just like we've done at Carolina. It's probably some of my own little wrinkles to it. And then in from that, we're going to teach the guys how to play. We will have plays. We're going to have a plan in place, but we're going to teach them how to play. And there's going to be somewhat of a freelance offense. I'm going to have to trust my guys to teach them how to play, and they'll execute that. It all ties in to the whole system, back to the defensive side of things, is we're going to have multiple defenses, but our base defense will be man-to-man, half court, and we're going to pressure the heck out of people. I told the guys today when we play against a team, they're going to have to worry about breathing. We're going to be in them so hard. And that kind of style is going to be fun to play. It's going to be fun to watch, but I think it also then in turn gets steals, and it's able to help us in the transition game as well.
Other questions?
No.
Larry, do you have one?
Yeah, what about your goals on recruiting?
My goals on recruiting are obviously to bring in big-time players. I think in the short term, there's some needs we're going to try and fill this year. We don't need to wait. We're going to hit the ground running. I told the guys on the team now I'm not looking to replace anybody. I want to keep them and add some pieces to the puzzle that's already in place. At that point, we're going to add to this puzzle, but we're going to look for, first and foremost, you have to be a good enough player. You have to help us get to the next level that we want to get to. You're going to have a great character. I'm not going to bring in bad kids. If you're a great player and you don't have the character, it's just not going to work. And we're going to bring in kids that can do the work academically and have the whole package. Now, yeah, that sounds like every other coach in America that wants those things, but I'm committed to it. I believe I can think outside the box a little bit. I can develop players once they're here. But those are the things I'm looking at, is the ability to produce and play, and with high character, and can do the job in the classroom.
What are those needs of the puzzle?
In the immediate term, I mean, I tell you what, the first thing I need to do is re-recruit the players that are here. They've gone through an emotional time, a tough time, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we keep the team intact. And they're going to understand that very, very well, that I need them to stay. In the short term, I'd probably look at bringing in a big or two and getting a little bit more size, but at the same time, we're going to look at all options everywhere and leave no stone unturned. Yeah, my staff it's going to be a work in progress. I know I know of one that I'm leaning strongly towards, that the administration here knows about, and we're going to probably work through that. The nice part of this timing is I'm going to get the Final Four, and basically all the coaches will be there, so I'll have an opportunity to meet with a variety of people there, which is just, it's a really a nice opportunity for me. to meet with a number of people that I already have targeted and meet in person with them and make sure they're on board and in line. I'll certainly visit with anybody and everybody on the staff that's currently here that wants to visit with me. I know the players are tied in to this staff as well, so I look forward to that conversation as well.
Snoozy Jones, devoted fan. I saw you on the sideline making suggestions. How long ago has it been since you've made the decisions?
Jerod Haase, devoted coach. I have a very unique situation in North Carolina. It's one of the very, 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 very few programs that has a JV team. Every other year for the last 9 years, I've been the JV coach. I've been the JV coach 5 years. What that means is I make the schedule, I get the officials, I run practice, get practice, work with our managers to make sure they're organized, and I'm the only coach out there, which means I yell at the players, I call timeouts, I build them back up, make game preparations, put a plan in place, and do every part of the basketball program there is. Needless to say, the 15 people that come to the games, there's not the pressure of a Division I situation, but in terms of besides making suggestions, 5 out of the last 9 years I've been making decisions on the court. And I'm well aware there's a difference between the JV team and UAB, but in a lot of ways it's very similar. And I've seen at North Carolina how we do things, and I've always taken great pride that when I do make suggestions to Coach Williams, I've thought them through and know what they're going to be. And I also think that there's just a great carryover from I'm not just there as assistant coach, thinking assistant coach. I've always thought in terms of, if I was the head coach, how would I handle this situation? And I've done that ever since I finished playing, and even really when I was a player too, in terms of thinking about a bigger picture than just what I'm doing right there.
Welcome to Birmingham, first of all.
Thank you.
With conference realignment with Conference USA, can I just get your thoughts on what the conference will look like? It obviously will look very different.
Yeah, it will look different. I'm very pleased to say that I'm not in those decisions. I'm going to have to be making a lot of decisions, a lot of tough decisions, but I'm going to be leaning heavily and getting my information from Mr. Mackin, Dr. Garrison, and the entire administration here. But I do think the way it's going is that it's going to be a fantastic basketball conference. I really do, and it's going to be a great opportunity to play against big-time competition, and the conference as a whole, I think, really can even be elevated on the basketball side of things. Yeah.
Jerod, what are your performance goals on the court for
We're going to win, and we're going to win big, and I told the team that. We're going to go in any game, no matter what it is. If we're playing at North Carolina, we're playing at Kansas, at Kentucky, with the mindset we're going in to win that game. As a team, we will set specific goals. But I can assure you there is no game at any time, at any point, that we're going to go in saying, let's play hard tonight and just see kind of where it goes. We will go in with the intent of winning the game. And when you win the games like that, this team will be built, and we will talk about winning championships. When you win championships, you're obviously going to be playing in the postseason. And I told the guys, once you get there, it's all open, and you can do some damage once you're there. But again, I'm not looking in terms of 2, 3, 4, 5 years before we can start doing those kind of things. I have those kind of dreams and aspirations right now.
Coach, we got one in the back. Mitchell?
You mentioned bringing older players into the fold, previous players. Does that mean just reaching out to them or possible assistant positions?
I'm going to keep all my options open, certainly reaching out to them, certainly making sure they feel welcomed in the program. It's an open door policy, whether it's visiting with me, the team, coming to games, and I want all of that. Former players, I would be more than happy, to visit with candidates that are out there that I get in touch with, and so that door is certainly open.
Jerod, talk about recruiting. You've been at Kansas and North Carolina, where you kind of get to pick who you want, in a sense, and it's a little different here. How do you see that transition going forward?
Well, I think the first thing you need to understand is that at North Carolina, we do have spectacular players, but when we recruit against schools, it's typically Kentucky and Syracuse and Duke and the Kansas of the world. So it's not an easy task even at North Carolina. Now, Coach has had a lot of success, and he's a fabulous recruiter, and I think our staff has done a great job. But I just want to dismiss that notion right there that it is easy to recruit to Carolina. But having said that, I do think it'll be different recruiting here. It'll be a different geographical area probably initially, that we're going to try and stay home. We're going to try and stay in Alabama. We're going to try and stay in the Southeast as much as possible, and then we will expand out. Myself, my staff, we're going to have connections nationally, and we'll exploit those as well. But I do want to start in the state and lock down talent in the state. But to be honest with you, I think recruiting, it basically comes down to three things. Are you going to be able to communicate with the kids? Are you going to be able to evaluate them well? And are you organized in what you're doing? And I think with those three things, if you can do those things, the level and the kid or anything else really doesn't matter. I think you can connect with people and get in some doors and get in some homes.
Let's take one or two more, if there are a couple more.
Can you talk a little bit about your scheduling philosophy? Being in Conference USA, a lot of big programs don't want to play. They feel like it's a trap game coming to a mid-major. Does your background help with scheduling at all, being from Kansas and North Carolina?
Well, I think it does. I think the connections I built, obviously at Kansas and Carolina, but then the connections I built, with the ACC and the Big 12 and other schools around the area, I think is a good place to start. We want to play a big-time schedule. That was clear in the interview process, that they want to make sure that I was not afraid to play big-time games and have big-time games so that the people here can get excited about the schedule, and I want to do that. And so I think scheduling is not always easy to get the perfect fit and the perfect situation, but we will work at it tirelessly to get the best situation.
Can you get Roy to come?
I don't know if Coach is listening, but I'll make sure he knows that question has been asked.
Is there a final question for Coach Haase?
Gentlemen,
Go ahead, Jerod.
you talked about my time, and I would think that there would have been opportunities for you to move a little earlier, whether it's a year or two, and maybe you're just waiting for the right place. But in a personal note of my time, why right now then in your personal life, not for UAB, but in your own life?
Well, my personal life, I think went to Carolina with no kids. I was married to my wife, and since that time we've had 3 fantastic kids. I think we want to really root down in the community. We want to go somewhere we can be a part of it and root down and get the kids into school. My oldest son will be in the kindergarten next year, and we want to really be in a place where they can grow up in a community, in a school system, so I think personally that's a big part of it. And I think there's really a stage. I mean, I think we all go through stages in our life, and I felt that this is just a great time. I feel like I'm ready, personally and professionally, and then the biggest part of this piece of the puzzle, though, is that it's the right place as well.
Thank you, Coach.